welcome to the 2024 Kookaburra Bowl. My name is Mitch. I'll be here to be your guide, your Sherpa, and hopefully some entertainment as you see the Nepean Ducks run onto the field. Joining me in a moment after he's finished his ground calling duties is Mr. Blake Jones, an illustrious GNSW figure, if I do say so myself. While I have to continue to sit here and talk, we'll see a whole raft of Nepean players run out onto the field, having a mixed season after their success last year. The losses that they experienced were against the University of Sydney Cubs. Expecting it to be a slog today. I think that knowing both coaches, they put a lot of prep into preparing for the game. And what we'll start to see here is the Sydney University Cubs run onto the field.
Okay, so visiting team, shake hands. Okay, congratulations to both of you guys for getting this far.
Blake Jones.
Kookaburra Bowl
David,
2024.
always
Great
good,
thing
mate.
for
I
both
don't
of you
think I
guys
could.
to be involved in. So, good season regardless of what happens out there today. It's just keeping a nice, good, clean game of football out there. Have fun like we have throughout the whole season. And good luck to both of you guys out there today. Okay, so I've got a silver dollar here. Got a Kookaburra silver dollar here for the Kookaburra Bowl. So we've got Kookaburra as tails and a team's head as head. Visiting team, the Ducks. You'll call it why it's in. And we have a tails. So what would you like to do? So Ducks have won the toss, and we'll. What would you like to do? And you get the choice of ends. We'll pick that way. Okay, let's take the ends. The Ducks have won the toss. They have deferred. They will kick off. Ends are shown. Kick off.
The University Cubs have a fairly few fresh new faces this year. Sort of on a bit of a rebuild, I think, from last year. So I'm excited to see how they do handle the pressure. And obviously the Ducks, being back here again for a second year, they know what to expect. They should be the ones that come out final.
Exactly. I think you can see here, I missed the coin toss and the kickoff, so we're going to have to wait and see who's who. So it looks like Sydney Uni will be receiving the ball, Nepean to kick off. They've got some talented returners at Sydney Uni. I think the back left returner on our screen here was a Outback Australia player, so potentially looking for a strong return here.
Mitch, you've obviously had a bit of experience with some of these players from the outback, being the head coach. Anyone particular we need to look out for today?
Well, I think Tommy back at return, if you're going to be able to see him run down onto it, but he's passed it off. We're looking at a big return here, coming past the 20 into the 30. Taken out of bounds, which is not a bad decision early on. Better than a kick that's taken them to the 20. So interesting to see what we get with the Sydney Uni Cubs coming out here on offense for their first drive. They are incredibly high-powered. I think there has to be an answer defensively from the Ducks that we haven't seen yet in this part of the season. Justin Whiting, their offensive coordinator, has a myriad of options with the offense as he runs to try and defend it. Quick snap, inside run, running back going down, taken well by the swarming Ducks defense. Minor gain there, 2 yards.
A good settler to open with, obviously the running back, the safe hands, powering up the middle, standing behind that big offensive line that Sydney University have. We'll see if they start to chance their hand early on.
See a tight end in on the right-hand side here. Quick pitch, but fake, kept to the QB. Bottled up, but still a nice gain. Like, they're playing at about 3rd and 5 at the moment. This is where they're ready to go. You could expect a hard count here, expecting them to try and jump offside, try and get the call in, but no. Quick pitch, QB keep again, inside run, open.
Oh, we've got a flag on the play.
See him running down the sideline. Where we saw that flag, there is potential holding by the offensive line. So while this does look exciting, we may be held back.
It's always a guilty look when one of the offensive linemen hang around where the penalty's been thrown. They usually know that they've done something wrong there.
We have a holding, number 55 on the offense. That penalty will be 10 yards from the original spot. Replay the down.
So from a penalty point of view, for those watching at home, penalties are assessed in 3 main categories of a 15-yard penalty, which tends to be safety or unsportsmanlike conduct, 10-yard penalties for the likes of holding or things that were potentially considered gaining an unfair advantage over the opposition. And you have 5-yard penalties, which are mechanical infractions, things where people have made mistakes, but they don't necessarily disadvantage one of the teams. So you can see number 55 here, just not able.
Not quite square there, was he?
Yeah.
Sort of left outside the centre there, held on to him. A bit too long right in front of the official.
I do like to secure the ball by number 11 as he runs through, but we're seeing back on the field. This doesn't put the Cubs out of contention by any means. I think they're in a strong position here, seeing a motion come through, pass, across the side of the field, open wide on the side of the field, cut off on the mesh, brought down. And again, that's the risk with Sydney Uni. You know, they are going to play, they've got such a strong run game that the defence does have to honour what they're going to see. See this, QB's patient in the pocket, rolls out, keeps his eyes downfield. Nice touch pass over the middle, and they just haven't been able to handle that mesh.
Or reverse, we've got a reverse here. Ducks read it very well. A very minimal gain, maybe a loss of a yard on that play.
Number 45 did exactly what he needed to do. Played patient through the read and made sure that he was there for the cutback. That's exactly what you want to be able to see on a defensive player. See this, stayed for the cutback, didn't bite, and was trying to turn it upfield. Met and contacted well. So this puts them at 2nd and 10. Again, they've got a lot of different ways to chunk down the field and be able to handle some of these dimensions. Seeing a different look by them. Expecting a motion, pop to the outside, QB keep again, solid runner, bottled up yet again.
The Ducks defence is holding pretty strong up the middle there. In the hold earlier where they got through, they've been pretty consistent keeping that line.
I think one of the challenges we've seen is that the offensive line for Sydney Uni can really get downfield and make these blocks, and they're getting bottled up pretty well here. They're getting turned out. But it does look like the Ducks are really stacking the box and challenging Sydney Uni to try and pass down the field. We know that Sydney Uni's been incredibly effective at their run game up until this point, and it looks like that the Ducks have come out with a schematic answer for it early. Back to a conventional set with a running back.
A little bit of a
Bobble snap, pass downfield, sacked again. Number 45 coming in, made a big stop on that reverse. Now made a big third down play. It is 4th and extremely long. I wouldn't say extremely long. That's unfair. That's an unfair comment, Blake. I should be better than that. 16, 4th and 16. Let's look at what they're going to try and do. It appears that they're going to punt.
The QB definitely put himself under a bit of pressure there with the bobble of the snap. You see a bit of a replay. By the time he had a chance to turn around, the Ducks defence was right in front of him.
So booming punt downfield, looks to be fielded, caught on the run, cut back up to the field, tackled for a small gain at the 33-yard line. It does look like they're in the same position to be returning from where Sydney Uni was previously. So it looks, we'll get the first chance to see the Ducks offense come out. We don't know really whether they've made plans for, you know, in grand final situations, teams will take a variety of different ways for prep. Some will completely change the offense that they're running. Some will try and do what they've always done and just continue to be really good at it. And I think that's something that we're always interested to see.
Two in the backfield. Three in the backfield.
Just running it down.
Minimal gain. Not much move in the pile there.
I think there's an interesting approach to this. If that's about 3 yards, which is what you expect it to be to get to second down, what the Ducks may be doing is trying to play the game of keeping the Cubs offense off the field. We know that Cubs offense is high powered. We know they're able to score. If their advantage is that they're going to play really strong defense and ensure that they can burn through the clock so they maintain control of the game, that is a really strong idea. We know that the Ducks have the bodies to be able to put it on the field and push people around. We're seeing an incredibly condensed formation here. A lot of misdirection, cutting back upfield. Again, broken to the outside, transitioned arm. Great play.
Bit of misdirection there from the QB, and I think the line's bit on it a bit too early and struggled with a bit of the outside contain as he bounced back around.
Number 45 is doing some work on this Ducks team. Looks like he's got a little niggle there. You can see it. Turns, makes the wrong tackle, and then they can't take the block. Transitions the arm well. This is a strong start for the Ducks. I think maintaining this tempo, letting them get settled in. This is a team they've lost against in season as well, so we need to be incredibly aware of the mental toll that takes, having not lost anything. But Sydney Uni has also not lost a game. There's a whole heap of different things that we're starting to see. Reverse, spin back out, brought down, stiff arm, taking run to the outside. Might have just gotten back to the line of scrimmage, maybe.
Which is probably worth chatting about why running the ball is going to deplete the clock more than a passing game.
Yeah, so this year GNSW made the transition for the clock rules to adhere more closely to the senior men's game. So what we're seeing is full stop-start clock, and what that means is when an incomplete pass occurs, the clock stops. So when you're trying to coach in these positions and understand where it is that you are in the field and what your skills and capabilities are, you need to be able to go, well, if we keep running the ball, the clock starts to burn down. This is a version of empty, passed out, QB keep tackled and stacked. Be interested to see what we've got here from the official.
Maybe a neutral zone infraction. It was pretty instant on the snap.
We have illegal formation on the offense. Number 94 has lined in at guard.
So that's an illegal formation call.
That penalty is declined.
By
Second down.
Ref.
Third down. Third down.
Matt Fordham. So we're seeing a trips formation to the right-hand side here. screen, but highly thrown, looking to try and dodge a tackle, come through. Still bottled up.
Oh, nice.
Return to the line of scrimmage.
Good to see the big O-line following behind the play, getting those extra couple of yards, pushing the pile downfield. Every yard counts in this game. We're already going to bring up 4th down. 4th and 9, 4th and 9, 4th and 8.
4th and 8. Now I expect them to be punting at this point. I think it's one of those challenges you have, especially in grand finals, as to when you want to punt or when you want to go for it. I think especially with the success rates of accurate punts in a smaller condensed 9-man set, you've always got to be aware of what that looks like. Not a bad punt downfield, but fielded well. Nearly bottled up, but you've got to cut across the screen. There's potentially an open field.
Here we go.
You've got to, yeah. There'll be a block in the back, unfortunately. That's going to get waved off. It won't get waved off, but it won't count. These are just 2 touchdowns that have been called back by mental errors on Sydney Uni. I expect the coaching staff to be seething.
Hey Mitch, for some of our newer viewers, do you want to speak to why they let the play continue to go after a flag is thrown?
Normally what will happen is there'll be a congregation of the zebra crew post the occurrence where they will make a decision as there's different views or things to be understanding. So yeah, it was a confirmation that there was a block in the back, and you'll see this here as you come back through. The defensive player that's coming back is about to make a tackle here, and you can see that he's pushed in the back and been unable to make it, and that's where the flag occurs. This is an incredible return, and seeking out contact and still trying to get the touchdown is absolutely incredible. Great elusiveness by number 22.
So Sydney Uni's had 2 touchdowns called back now. From 2 penalties. They need a bit more discipline, because if they're going to put the effort in and get down there in the field, they want to be able to convert those points to the scoreboard.
New formation for the Cubs. We haven't seen this yet. Trips bunch to the right-hand side of the field, looking to try and get a mismatch on man here. Open again to the back side of the field, caught in space. Incredibly well maintained. The crossing routes are causing havoc with the Ducks defence at the moment.
A lot of time in the pocket there. The O-line is definitely holding up pretty well up front.
You can see here that just coming across here, it looks like they were kind of playing zone, but number 9 came to make a play, but was just unable to make it through where he needed to be. Trips bunch again, creating a mismatch here. Speed option potentially to the far side of the field. Got an edge by the quarterback, and that's a tidy 9-yard gain. I think the defense really needs to make sure that they have an answer to this speed option situation that we know they've run throughout the season. And this is the approach of an offensive coordinator, is really looking at what the defense is presenting and trying to find different ways to attack that in a variety of different dimensions.
I mean, early on, Sydney Uni seemed to be moving the ball pretty easily, both on the ground and in the air. The Ducks are going to definitely have to step up and try and stop this. Jet sweep. Oh, great cutback.
Oh, fumble on the feet.
Loose. Ball security just wasn't there on that one.
This is this is three big mental areas that have happened currently that have really looked as potentially show-stopping drives that were unexpected. That was a big hit. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get a replay of it, but an incredible hit there to knock the ball out. And again, this is the challenge that you start to see with some of these plays, is that there is insecurity for the ball like conventional rugby league, like in that you can't have a whole group of people trying to rip it out. But that guy just looks like he got hit with a hammer, so it's a little bit harder to justify.
So Ducks in fantastic field position here. Remaining with the heavy set in the backfield.
Looking to get a wide edge there and turn the corner. Cutting up, going to be able to get 11, 12 yards. Trying to set the edge there is going to be really important. And I think if I know the offensive coordinator for the Ducks, I expect a very similar play to be able to be called now, trying to attack different depths and widths of the field. You can see here just a wide edge set, getting extra guys to block downfield. Number 45 again, creating a key block there to be able to get them down. Great set of plays. QB keep, set to the edge, trying to cut back in, but made a good read. Dip, trying to run to the outside. Not a bad decision there, playing it safe. It's still a 5-yard gain. Like this is really the chunk stuff that they need to be able to try and lean into to be successful. They don't have to do too much. You don't have to try and get 20, 30 yards down the field every single time. You're really just trying to be elusive. Number 4 did a great job there of starting to lean into a block and then being able to work away from it.
Be interested if the Ducks continue with this heavy backfield look that they're going with. Obviously the ground game is where they're finding most success early on. But I guess they've got to try and look to open it up at some point too, because otherwise if they were too one-dimensional, Sydney is going to be able to come up against that pretty well.
This heavy offset look at the moment is something that we're getting a bit of a cutback inside run. Open cutback to the backside of the field here. Looks like he's going to break 1 tackle, 2 stiff arm. Going in for the 3rd. Looks like he's going to make it touchdown. Number 45.
Great vision. The play was obviously designed to go left there, but it closed down pretty early on, making the cut back to the right. Big stiff arm to get into the end zone, and Ducks take first blood.
It'll be interesting to see how Sydney Uni respond to this now, because it's not often that they're playing from behind. Don't think that's actually happened at all in season. So will be good to see what they muster in this next round to try and ensure that they can do that. You can see here 1 tackle, strong stiff arm. Number 10 doesn't keep his eyes up and is unfortunately just able to not stop him getting through the end zone.
Going for the 2 points here.
2-point conversions are far more common in our league just because the width and field goals are tricked by his own offensive lineman. The punish.
Good push from the Sydney University defensive line there to get defensive linemen in the backfield. Be interesting, as you say, how does Sydney Uni bounce back from this, but I think they'll take some confidence from the fact that they've been in the end zone twice now, but unfortunately pulled back on a couple of penalties. If they can fix those penalties, I think we'll see a few more points on the board from them early on in the first half.
Now, for those watching at home, the timer on the field is a little bit different to the timers that we have on our screen. So, if anyone's a little lost on that would be the explanation. It looks like it's been reset to 2 minutes. I'm not sure how that's been correlated, but we'll see how that goes. Expect a booming kick here. Number 45 does it all. Kick down deep. Let's see if they can play more fundamental stops here. Right, bottled up. Are they going to try and cut to the sideline? Big space on the sideline, potentially a run.
Got a flag that's been thrown in the backfield again. And he stepped out. Another flag early on. It's interesting to see what we call back here for.
Unfortunately, special teams is one of those things that are prone to several errors, correctly or incorrectly.
During the return, we have a block in the back. On the come. That'll be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
Block in the back.
Another potential score that can be called back. It's a tough situation because, again, you know, the big day, you can see it here. I'm not sure if we're able to see it. You can see number 9, unfortunately. Don't know if it was necessarily a strong attempt, but it's it's, regardless of intent, it's important to understand that we've got to try and protect our players and make sure they're able to make the plays that they need to. No set edge to the wide side of the field, trying to chair it up and then running straight out of bounds.
He's got some wheels on him, number 20, but I think there's probably a few more yards to be made too upfield there at some point. Every yard obviously counts in this game. You've only got 4 downs to get another set. I think he probably shorted himself a couple of yards there, Mitch.
Yeah, I think there'll be a question in the film review after this one, Blake, as to we're a vertical sport, so we've got to try and get downfield.
And the Ducks are sitting fairly shallow here.
I think they're really leaning into the idea that they've got to try and beat them in the air and make sure that they're there. This QB is incredibly strong at running downfield, but unfortunately, and what you start to get when you do run your quarterback a lot, is they do get gassed, they do get hurt. They do. There was a famous incident of a very good quarterback that was playing in a men's team in Sydney, and they ran him 6-7 times in a row, and he ended up having a severe season-ending injury. So while you want to rely on your key players, there's also a load management element here that we're really trying to make sure we get right. So snap, wide edge here, caught and taken down. Number 20 looking like he's a little bit tentative trying to run around the field at the moment. So
definitely needs to work on getting more north. Especially when you've got the O-line in front of you, it's opening up some good holes and blocking well for you.
So it looks like that's the quarter. Look, I've got to say, Blake, I'm quite surprised by the first quarter. I thought there'd be a bigger score differential on one way or the other. I think if you look at some of these key mistakes from the Cubs, they're 3 penalties or 2 penalties and turnover away from being 24 points up. So just being able to show composure and not give up any of those mental errors is vital in a game like this. I think the challenge for them now is to make sure that they're mentally strong in this point of adversity and trying to get on the sidelines and go, guys, we don't have to do anything different to what we've done all year. We just need to keep playing what it is that we know we can do. But you can see here, and this is just again showing some of this elusiveness by number 4 and a better example of trying to get upfield while expanding to the outside. Tripped over. I think that'll be on film one way or the other for the rest of the year in the discussions. Another big play here. I think this is where we're seeing the block in the back. It's surprising.
3 very simple mistakes, right? 2 blocking the backs and hold. If they can tidy up those mistakes, there's definitely more points on the board for Sydney University, especially with the Ducks sitting so shallow in their defensive front. I think if they can get a couple of balls behind them, they'll get some receivers in some open space.
Tight end to left, looking at a run again, drop back to pass, throw over the middle of the field, great catch.
Great legs. As we said there, they were sitting quite shallow. Nice crossing route over the top into some open space. Unfortunately, with the coverage that they're showing, there's not a lot of help back there if the corner doesn't stick to their man very well.
Yeah, and I think, unfortunately, when you are stacking the run like that, you do need to be able to get a pass rush. That it really can't be that you can sit and let them have it. And this is what Sydney Uni will do, is they will keep rolling. This isn't going to change their momentum or their approach. The minute that you think that you've got a step ahead, they're going to be continuing to work to be able to catch up. There's a lot of talent on both sides of the ball, and there's some coaching mastery here. So you can see play action that draws the linebackers in, and he wasn't badly covered, but the safety in the middle of the field did a bad job of trying to come across and be able to help that. The corner was tracking, is a little bit slower than he should have been. I think that they would be trying to make better assumptions on the number 1 here.
We're running the 2-point in. No, he's short. So both teams unsuccessful with their 2-point conversion. It brings us to Cubs have been given it 2 points on the scoreboard there already. Bit premature each.
Yeah, I think that'll be adjusted with our live stream crew in a second. I think it was waved off.
Maybe the film was just seeing some angles that we haven't.
Maybe they were on the sideline and ready to go, and there's a debate with the refs. But you can see this is a great shot of this pass here across the field.
Head down, just powering through.
Sun's starting to burn off some of that cloud, so I assume it's going to be getting pretty hot down in the field. Fielded well, coming back. This is a bigger return. Dodged the first and the second, being taken down. Sort of got a consistency for the approximate 33 yard line here.
Yeah, with the sun coming out, obviously we're down at beautiful Brookvale Oval today, home of the Manly Seagulls. Been part of Bird's country out here on the northern beaches, but we're looking at tops of 28 degrees today. It's quite humid, quite muggy. Definitely will start to affect the players as this game gets on. Again, the Ducks lining up in a heavy set look. This seems to be their go-to at the moment.
I think it's showing a great stop. Like Sydney Uni's back, their linebackers not downfield. They're creating space and being able to cut back up through where they are. They're
enough for a first down.
Getting caught up a little bit there. I think it'd be very close.
Nope. Injury to number 10. One thing to note, if there is an injury timeout that is called, that player must leave the field for one play unless the team decides to use one of their own timeouts to be able to get him back on the field. Is that correct, Mitch?
Yeah, that's correct. And I think the view is as well that teams aren't particularly charged timeouts for injuries broadly. They're encouraged to try and get their plays off the field so it doesn't disadvantage anyone. Really playing quite consistent on their run game here. Looks like that's another 4-yard game.
I definitely think, as you said before, Mitch, they are looking to keep the Cubs off the field, and by running the ball, they're chewing through the clock quite quickly. Obviously, that first quarter went quite quick, as both teams sort of kept the ball on the ground for most of the plays.
Well, yeah, and I think outside of that big pass completion, you really haven't seen a lot of stuff through the air. The Cubs have dinked and dunked it a little bit, but it's all different. You can see, again, sealing the edge here and making a run downfield. Absolute incredible speed by number 10, taken out of bounds, unable to set the edge. It's one of those things you're starting to see in my side, especially, that we're still playing on a conventional width field. The width of the field with the number of players is incredibly hard to defend. And I think we saw them get a big gain on exactly the same play last time, and we're seeing an edge set here, able to turn the corner. The linebackers aren't coming downhill fast enough to be able to fill that. That's a safety making a play there to try and be able to stop them getting downfield. So, I'll be interested to see if there's a build off this. You know, we might be able to try and set the outside edge again and then really just try and run downfield. That's the same play. Like, I will be incredibly surprised. That's twice in a row now that they're ready to go. Let's see if we can do something. I think that was actually a variant. Sorry, I don't know if that was a QB power where they were just running off the edge of the tackle or the guard, but it's, yeah.
They're definitely working with some lead blockers here. Trying to sit behind them, collapse the edge, get to the outside. That's where they're finding the green grass at the moment. As you mentioned, there's a lot more green grass to the sides because we are 9-a-side on a conventional 11-a-side field. Looks like they flipped the play. We've got the lead blockers out in front again.
Trying to turn and cut up field. It's, I think they've currently found a wrinkle in the defence's ability to be able to handle this kind of outside run. And until they're able to adjust to it, I expect the coaching staff to keep it simple and pound it down.
And one thing to observe, there's obviously the person with the ball running it was quite patient, waiting for the holes to open up. In this game, you do have the ability to wait for someone in front of you to block you and get to the open space. He was quite patient in making sure that gap opened up and putting his head down once it did open up.
Exactly. Great decision making by the coaching now to expose a 4, but very similar to what the Cubs did in the previous drive when they sold out to stop the run, and then they're going to try and pass down the field.
And as we see there, as you said before, they're just not setting the edge enough, not coming downfield, not forcing the play to bounce back inside where there's more help. You can't set the edge, just going to continue to bounce to the outside, but there's no help to come and cover up the mistake.
Bottled up again on the 2-point conversion.
Replay here. Got a pull.
See, someone was patient on the cutback, but the offensive line just didn't get downfield enough to be able to try and offset some of those.
We always work on resetting the line of scrimmage when you're quite close, trying to run up the middle there. They just didn't get the push that they needed to get.
I think the defensive line did a great job of resetting the offensive line, so you can see they took several steps back from not being able to drive off the ball, and that creates always a level of complexity. So they've gone shot for shot here, realistically, in regards to what they're doing. But the time will become a factor, and I think this is the challenge that you're going to have, is that if the Ducks can pull another score in this quarter, it then starts to be a management going into the end of the game, burning through so many points. But again, Sydney Uni can strike fast. We saw that previously. Booming kick downfield, well returned, taken to the 10, getting to the 20, clipped and taken again.
It'll be interesting if Sydney University do make any adjustments with their defensive line, because they are quite strong, but they start to push them out a bit wider, trying to offset the edge.
And I think that's the inevitable change that will happen, and then you've got to look at, well, how are we going to account for inside run? And it's this back and forth battle between the offensive and defensive coordinators of either side of the team, try and make sure that they're going to be able to put their team in the best position to win.
Fake toss, back up the middle. Safety sitting a bit too patient there, not coming downhill.
Yeah, I think, after a big pass play, you do see safeties try and avoid the read on play action pass and those kind of things. They're trying to clear their cleats and understand what's going to happen next.
You better give it away a couple of yards up the middle versus a big one over the top.
I think they're definitely on the sidelines going, don't get beat deep. So that's kind of a manifestation of what you see as a result of that. But the fake toss QB counter is a really strong play for these guys.
Trying to get them offside here with the hard count. Well, false start. It's always the way, you always hope to get the hard count, but unfortunately it's the offensive line that usually moves a bit early.
That's it. To be fair, it wasn't the offensive line. I'll give the boys props. It was a tight end. So we get to blame the receivers this time, Blake, as an offensive lineman. Myself, I do like to enjoy it when it wasn't our team that jumps offside. So I think you can see the boys there knowing that they're not jumping offside on a call like that. So it does, it's a risk-reward ratio, so they're now playing at 1st and 15. They've got to get a little bit more on this to be able to try and do it. And what I touched on earlier was the mechanics of no one was really getting an advantage from that, so they got a 5-yard penalty for the mistake. We're seeing a bit of a bottled up play here, blown out. helmet off by someone.
We're seeing quite a bit of misdirection from both teams here and some pulling around of the guards and the tackles and the tight ends.
Yeah, I think that's something that you're going to be able to see a lot of when you don't have as much playing and exposure time. You know that guys aren't going to read everything that they need to. So it's the QB keep in here, end around, trying to drag some people out of the box and then putting them in the position to try and get inside run. But it doesn't look like the Ducks are really willing to give up the inside with any level of ease at this moment in time.
Another pre-snap penalty. A timeout.
Flag on the play.
We have a timeout, Cub. That's their first timeout of the half.
Called a timeout?
Yeah, called a timeout. So, sorry for anyone watching at home. It was not a flag. It was the timeout called by Sydney Uni Cubs. Now, each team have 3 timeouts per half. Incredibly important for coaches to be able to use those effectively and understand where they are and what they're going to be doing with the timeouts they have. Clock management really becomes a vital piece of the puzzle when you're trying to get a game done, especially if it's a close scoring game. You want to be able to make sure that you've got them up your sleeve for either controlling the clock or being able to communicate in an additional way with your players.
Yeah, and you'd assume that Sydney University want to try and draw down the clock as much as possible here, not to give it back to the Ducks before half-time.
Yeah, I think playing from behind, it's always one of those things. I think you just want to try and score and get up. I don't know whether you'd be thinking about clock management as much as making sure that people knew what their jobs were and what it was they're trying to do. We're seeing this set formation again where they're motioning to the outside. Quarterback's back and trying to drop a pass. Again, crossing route from the field.
Oh, he's in here, I think. He's in. Great second effort.
Yeah, I was going to... don't think clock control matters too much when they're trying to score. The yards after catch there is incredible. Again, the mesh play, the unaccounted crosser is just something that the defence is really struggling to counter for again. So it looks like it's going to be shot for shot. I'm interested to see now what would, 2 points become invaluable. It's a close game. The Cubs have the opportunity to pull ahead on a conversion here. They missed a big play. It's the risk of trying to push someone out when it's the position of the ball where they're out. So you can see this here, pushed out. They never ran out of bounds. Number 8 was trying to get an out call there, but it was not real. Seeing what the QB can do. Bottled up.
The pocket protection from the offensive line's been fantastic. Definitely giving the QB a lot of time to make his reads and progress through them.
Yeah, I did have the pleasure of coaching all 3 of those at the Australian Outback team in Canada earlier in the year. So they have played at quite a high level.
Would you say it's your coaching?
The credit for the offensive line coaching would have to go to Glenn Bowes. Mr. Glenn Bowes, Mr. GNSW this year.
Who's actually a member of the Nepean Ducks, the opposition.
He is a member of the Nepean Ducks and the opposition, and he also Mr. George Shippian, who's a friend of the league, we shall say, a great coach on the other side of the world, currently coaching at St. John's in the US. And both of those guys are absolutely invaluable in preparing them both at the World Cup, and obviously that's had a flow-on effect to their success here.
Shorter kickoff here. And it's rolled out of bounds. Now that is a penalty, isn't it, Mitch?
Yeah, it is. It's a penalty, and there's a couple of options that teams can take. They can ask for a read kick. They can take it from 5 yards from the spot of the foul. I think they can take it on the 40-yard line. This is one of those ones where I always just make it read kick because I like them running down the field, and I feel good about how teams play special teams, that we should be able to get a better wrinkle on the return.
It definitely helps to set the intensity for that drive, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
exactly.
A good kick return, some good blocks up front, definitely gets the mojo going in the players.
Exactly.
Looks like they've elected to take a 5-yard penalty from the spot.
Yeah, it was a funny spot for it to roll out of bounds. So
another costly penalty for the Lions. It's only 5 yards, but still they all start to add up throughout the entire game.
this is a new look. So we're in empty for the Nepean Ducks. Looks like it'll be a pass. It's a quick throw.
Call a timeout. Call a timeout.
We have timeout. Come. That is their second timeout for the
If they see
half.
something they haven't seen before and they don't think they're prepared for it before the snap of the ball.
Yeah, so I think like they went into and again it was a little bit hard to see, but it looked like double tight end. So you get a 5-man offensive line with 3 receivers to the left-hand side of the field. So that isn't really a formation that they would have seen a lot of in preparation for this game. So I think burning a timeout there, especially at this point, you know, you were going into the end of the first half. You really want to go in sort of even. You don't want to be playing from behind coming out. We understand the second half of the game is a brand new game, but there has to be a view that we want to make sure that people are prepared to be able to defend whatever the formation is that we see it.
So Sydney Cubs left with 1 timeout for the half, and I believe the Ducks still have all 3 remaining. So again, we talk about clock management. At some point in time, the Ducks will start to use their timeouts to obviously try and stop the clock and get down the other end of the field to get one up before half time.
Yeah, and I think this is the example. If they're out in a formation, like, and they're running the ball, they have to be aware of their clock limitations as well. So they funny enough, it's another 2-back formation, little bit of potential misdirection. Fumble into the backfield. For everyone who doesn't know, if a ball goes backwards, it's a live ball. So forward passes downfield, don't do that. That's a costly mistake and a misalignment by the looks of it. I don't think that they were confident with where they were meant to be lined up. You do see some of these rugby league style plays, and it just looked like, you know,
a bit of a no-look pass.
A bit of a no-look pass to see what happens, and they were lucky to be able to get it back. But the challenge they have now is we haven't seen Nepean take big chunk plays out of their field at the moment. They've had a couple of big runs, but we're not really seeing them have a strong ability to execute through the air. So again, what I expect here is to set back to the outside and try and get this edge. Fumble again. Fumble again.
Communication. Looks like that's the call here. The refs are going to consult on this one. And when is the ball dead here? At what point in time?
It'll be hard. Like, I'll hold off on having an opinion until we see what the officials' feedback is. The general consensus is that if a player is down with their knees on the ground in any way whatsoever by contact, they are in possession of the ball. So
a bit of an awkward handoff there. It looked like it was meant to be more of a toss, but it became a bit of a handoff.
Watching this, I think you'll find that it's live and the turnover will be in possession of the Cubs. But
I think they're a bit of a running back miscommunication there, trying to come in for a handoff on what should be more of a pass.
Yeah, and I think this is one of those times where potentially using a timeout to settle guys in for the final drive of the quarter was really, really important.
We have Ducks ball. The number 60 was down on the ground whilst he had secured the ball before it has come loose.
Nepean defence coming back out into the field. So great field position for Sydney University here, and I'm sure they'd like to punch one in before the half.
This is a big turnover, so it's something that is. Wait, hold on.
Oh no, the chains haven't reset, have they?
Let's just wait. Maybe I'm incorrect. Maybe they were viewed as. Right.
Yeah.
A little bit of confusion on the field.
The Ducks remain with possession. 3rd down and a long way to go.
Hopefully they're able to make a shift on their the mistakes that they've just made in this. Misdirection wide to this outside. Open field.
Great open block.
Huge run. Talking about the Ducks not being able to make an adjustment on chunk plays, that was an incredible misdirection there for the Ducks. They did stack one side of the field and it forced the defence to adjust that way, and then they came back across the grain. Clock management now becomes an issue that we want to make sure that the clock starts once the chains are set, so now the clock will be running.
Great downfield block by number 36. Even if you don't have the ball, you can still make plays.
That's the offensive line motto there. That's the offensive line motto. So similar formation, expecting them to try and set an edge of some description here. Turn to the outside. Again, this is sort of a play that we're seeing.
Flag on
the play.
Ducks did well to stay composed there because they did bounce back quite a bit in penalties.
Yeah, it was like a couple of compounded mental model issues that they were having, but they were able to bring it together when it makes sense.
Got a face mask.
Got a costly penalty by Sydney Uni here, putting them further downfield. Again, potentially within striking distance based on the runs that they've just been able to execute, and from a clock management point of view, looking at really struggling to come into the end of the half with enough time to be able to compete.
This would be a great momentum swinger for the Ducks if they can put some points on the board before half time. Mentally trying to come back out in the second half from behind is going to be a lot harder for Sydney University to turn that around. They're continuing with the same look.
Misdirection, trying to get back to the outside of the field, cut up back inside. Still a good gain. And safeties, again, having to come downhill and make a play. Linebackers are getting caught up in a lot of the backfield run action. So the run action is the mechanics of the QB and where the running backs are going. And that's freezing them in their spot a little bit to try and see if they're able to get open. Number 22.
And obviously the Sydney University, if they keep getting beat to the outside, they are going to start to cheat there and open the holes up in the middle. Another outside run. Some great blocking downfield again.
Setting the edge and cutting back inside. Again, great play, 5 yards. 5 yards to go.
1st and goal. It'll be interesting to know how much time's left on the clock here and how many opportunities the Ducks are going to have to try and punch this one in.
Great blocking again. Hard to make a decision there. I really love the defensive play by number 22, trying to set the edge and not allow them to bust to the outside. We do have an injured Ducks player on the field though, so there will be a moment where
the corners seem to be struggling to set the edge and force the play back to the inside at the moment.
Yeah, look, they're big receivers, and cornerbacks in the league, especially when they're mostly sold out to try and defend the pass, have to spend as much time as they can getting down and running around on the field. So they're not always able to, I'll say, set the edge, but really find a way to be able to force the running back to make a cut. And it's definitely a gap that we're seeing at the moment. Not for lack of effort, though. I just want to clarify that. I think they're doing the best they can. It's just some of these Ducks boys are big.
So with injury time out there, the number 10 will have to leave the field for a play if he's able to come back on. We'll have to sit this next one out. Ducks look like they're lined up in a bit of a different look here. Trips to the right. Empty backfield.
Passing attempt by the Ducks.
35 was wide open on the left there. It's a fairly young coaching staff for both teams, isn't it, Mitch?
Yeah, they're all, not all of them, but some key people are ex-players. So head coach in the Nepean Ducks, Lockie, is a ex-Colts player who's come up and tried to continue the legacy by taking on coaching the team. And Justin Whiting was an incredible Colts quarterback who played for the Sutherland Seahawks when they were around, and was an absolute time on trying to handle and bottle him up. Run by the quarterback here. Looks like we're within 2 yards of scoring, 1 yard of scoring potentially. Third down.
And Lachlan Mignall was also a quarterback for the Nepean Ducks Colts.
Yeah, that's correct. It seems to be an experience that the QBs come back and try and chase the championship with another.
Develop the next generation.
Develop the next generation, but it's great to develop the next generation when you're winning.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
probably the thing. I think it's much harder to lose the games and still enjoy it as much. So, yeah, look, we're looking at this is a big, it might be a quarterback sneak, little bit of the brotherly shove or the tush push, trying to push it through, pushing it over the line. It does look like the quarterback got through. Shades of Philadelphia.
Just asserting their dominance up front there.
Yeah, that does. That was a reflection of inspiration from potentially the NFL.
High percentage play. It works most of the time. It's very hard to stop.
Yeah, it works 50% of the time every time, Blake, is my view. But it's you can see here they just physically got into that, and I think teams were not necessarily prepared for the dominance there, but a great preparation on a 4th and short. And it looks like they're going to try and run it again from the 3rd yard, or it might be a cheeky fake with the toss. No, they're just going to try and push their way in anyway, but they do a great job of stopping it short.
That's definitely a mentality. If it's not fixed, if it's not broken,
if it's not broke, don't fix it. Look, they've consistently ran plays that they've been successful on. I think their big yardage plays have been very similar in their design, but trying to get different playmakers the ball, and that makes the most sense. I don't think we've seen the 2-minute warning yet. Blake?
No, we definitely haven't seen the 2-minute warning yet, so there's still enough time for Sydney University to get another one back on the board before we head into half-time.
Booming kick downfield. Out of bounds. Mental mistake by the Ducks. It'll be interesting to see. Waiting to see the decision here.
We have illegal procedure on the kicking team. The ball has gone out of bounds untouched and will be spotted at the 35-yard line. First down, Cubs.
So electing to take it from the 35. 1st and 10. Outside run, elusive, but bottled up and brought down a couple of yards from the sideline. Here the defense getting loud for their team. Motion to the outside, play action pass, screen, fumble, or drop pass, sorry. It was looking to try and get a player the ball who should be able to get it in space. Unfortunate drop there, unexpected.
A little momentum swinging the Ducks' way here as we close out the second half.
Yeah, it's definitely showing a different side of the team. You know, they've leaned into potentially the adversity that they're experiencing and know that they're going to have to be able to rally and face the team that's obviously been dominant all year. So coming in and playing like they've got nothing to lose, and they really don't. This is all that matters. Seeing QB fake, tackling the open field. Time now becomes an issue, and the quarterback slow to get up from that one. A little bit of an ankle in the tackle there, but yeah, slow to recover.
Fourth down, we've got a turnover.
Huge play by the Nepean Bucks here.
We've got another player down here. Is it the quarterback that's gone down here, Mitch? So obviously, as you mentioned earlier, it's quite
slow. Yeah, it's always the risk with running him and relying on him so much is the ability for the team to be able to get up and get after it, and unfortunately, it's incredibly challenging.
And obviously, at this level, there generally is a backup quarterback, but it's usually a bit of a gap in skill level between the QB1 and QB2.
The skill disparity is different, and it's just because the amount of game time that you have to invest in being able to do it. It's an incredibly complex position. It requires chemistry. It requires an investment of time and all of those things. And to be able to then go, well, I now need to put someone else in there, that becomes complicated. Hopefully, though, that this is just a temporary problem, and he'll be back out on the field soon. I haven't seen the 2-minute warning, so I am waiting for a time check here if I can see it on the field. But
you would think if the 2-minute warning hasn't gone, the Ducks have plenty of time here to try and.
Well, and they've also got all 3 timeouts. So this is the position that, you know, you could amplify your 1-score lead going into the half, 2 scores, look at how they can then come out, win a game in the first couple of drives, and then really be in a position to just chew away and eat up the clock as we're going into the end of the game. So there has to be all these coaching considerations from the sidelines going through your head at any point in time to go, well, what does the dimensions of this look like for us to try and win this game?
You probably bet the safer option then was probably to go for the punt and force the Ducks to work their way out of their end of the field.
Yeah, like I'm a shooter's got to shoot kind of guy, Blake. So I'm a big 4th down guy. I quite like the pursuit of 4th down. I think there is some stuff that you've really got to trust your team to be able to do it. And if you're not punting great or you're not covering great, there's a whole heap of different situations. They haven't done a great job on punt so far. So to then go, well, let's do it again, potentially turn it over, and then put them in a better field position, that's a risk as well. So you've got to work out, well, how much are you trying to do? Are you really trying to get on the field and go even into the second half versus trail? So again, it's
big risk, but there was obviously a reward at the end of it.
Yeah, that's it. It's never an easy decision, and I think, you know, coaches have to.
We've got a replay of the QB keep. Twisted the ankle.
Yeah, not a player twist, but just a contact twist as he's come down. Which, look, you know, hopefully they're able to get him and then get him back up on the field if he's able to do so safely. So, see here again, sort of cut back to the outside, wide side towards the sideline here, making significant yards. It's another 10-yard run, and again, just burning through this clock and the distance downfield. It's a physical game. The Peons come out and they know what they're going to do, and they're still going to run it through. So that's
the downside of running it so much is the big boys are going to get tired up front, and are they going to be able to hold up for the rest of the game?
Yeah, I think if you do look at the sideline, they don't lack big boys, so I'm assuming that they'll potentially be cycling them through. I think you're also watching them they're not rushing either. So there's an element of, you can see wide side run here, trying to seal the edge. They're doing a better job at cutting back up. Sydney Uni doing a great job to adjust now to this wide side view. I expect there will be a wrinkle somewhere now to expect the cutback or the boot to be able to account for that. They're now pursuing to the outside for these runs that they've just been successful in doing so. Snap the ball, pass play here, taking downfield. Nearly could have been intercepted, but batted down.
Third and 10. I assume the Ducks will keep her on the ground again.
Yeah, like they've been able to convert on some of those, and it's been incredibly difficult to try and adjust otherwise.
Going back to the trip still with empty backfield. QB keep. Flag here. Cubs did a much better job of setting the edge there and forcing them run back inside. We've got the penalty here for. Clock's been declined.
We have a holding on the offense. Number 45.
So now they're going to have to make a decision to
brings up 4th down.
Decline the penalty.
Sorry, so that's more from an Nepean point of view. They're now in fourth and very long. They're going to have to make a call around where they're going to try and do a little shifty punt and get it into the back, because they are allowed to punt out of bounds here. So this could be an out of bounds punt situation, or they're just going to go for it and not care. Trying to pass downfield. That was a catchable ball. I don't know whether number 42 did a great job there of committing to that.
And definitely these big games, you've definitely got to step up and make those diving catches and put your body on the line.
Yeah. Cubs can definitely score here. Play action pass, catch.
Get to the sideline. It's important to get to the sideline and try and get the clock to stop here, because they've only got one timeout left.
Now this is like a game with a little bit of blindness on the clock here. I'll be treating it like a 2-minute drill. So players know that they need to get out of bounds, hand the ball to the official, the clock's running. They really don't want to waste the time out if they don't have to.
And I believe we have another quarterback that's in play. Obviously, the other one got hurt in the drive before.
So their safety, Tommy, is playing quarterback. Now, he did play quarterback for them last year, I believe. An elusive player. This is a big run. Stopped on the field 1 yard short. On 3rd and 2. Seeing if we can pull up a big stop here. QB keep. Caught and turned out of bounds. Swarmed, but it will be a first down.
I still don't think we've seen the 2-minute warning yet, Mitch, unless we've missed.
Unless we may have missed it. It's I am curious about the time. Elusiveness here and great ball security at that point. Offensive line communicating, trying to call out who's who.
Ducks did a
Great pursuit after contact.
well, the Ducks did a great job. Didn't take away the option on the toss there, forcing the QB back inside, but still made some great yards.
So last time
Get
out.
out! Come! That is our 3rd and final timeout for the half.
Just fighting after contact here. It's incredibly difficult to be able to make those decisions in game, and for a backup QB to be coming on the field and being as an elusive and effective player as he is absolutely incredible.
A lot of pressure to come on, and especially behind on the scoreboard when you probably haven't played quarterback most of the year.
Second and short. In the rocket formation again, going to motion someone, looking at a couple of different options, looking at the drop back pass, mesh to the outside, taken but bottled up more effectively, still not covered well by the Nepean Ducks in regards to adjusting to this constant view of mesh.
Moving on the hop here, obviously with time not up their sleeve and not many timeouts left.
No, they just expanded their last timeout, so they know that they've got the clocks in their hands, looking at speed option, bottled up a little bit, but
The Ducks again do a great job to take away that option.
yeah, it's, you know, this is the challenge I think with the Ducks offense. You're seeing that isn't really the conventional offense they've run this year. The heavy set with the additional blockers and things has been something that they haven't run. Whereas what we're seeing now is something distinctly different.
Spiking the ball stops the clock very aggressively.
Yeah, it was. That was definitely a spike that I wouldn't have expected to see. You can just drop it, like you can throw it at the ground. It doesn't have to be a
Saved himself a second on the clock.
Exactly.
That quick.
Exactly. So I think, yeah, incredibly aware. But showing maturity in the coaching staff there to understand that they need those mechanics in place to be able to handle the game when they've run out of timeout. So showing that they have got a preparation with 2-minute drill here. Bunch to the right-hand side of the field, potentially looking at mesh again. They're going to look to the open side of the field. Are they going to cover it effectively?
Great catch.
Yes, great catch. But are they brought down? Ball's out. I think we'll say that he's down by contact. His knee would have been down when the ball came out. So an incomplete pass there, but we are on 4th down. There's kind of 2 ways that you can play this. Potentially you're going to see a play action deep shot, like this is the first time we've seen in conventional trips wide here. You might see them send the house. They're going to play. Going to see some changes. Okay, and that's half time. That's half time. So Nepean Ducks leading the Sydney Uni Cubs into the half, 18-12. Looking forward to seeing the next half. I think both teams will come out with significant halftime adjustments. And Blake, what's your prediction for the second half?
Yeah, I definitely think momentum's with the Nepean Ducks at the end of the first half. They're obviously establishing a very strong run game. They haven't really chanced their hands too much in the air at this point in time. But in saying that, Sydney University, they've obviously got the air. They can pass and they're finding open space relatively easy with some of those crossing routes and get to the side. So I think Sydney University definitely look to lean on the passing game a bit more in the second half. I think they'll come out pretty strong and put some points on the board early.
Yeah, for sure. Look, I expect a ferocious second half by absolutely both sides of those teams. So we'll be back with you shortly. Thanks so much.
not enter the field on Sunday. I want only believers only. Believers will take that field. Who is with me? Who is
And we are back for the second half of the 2024 Kookaburra Bowl. Blake, it's hot outside. Looks like it's going to be a tough second half. Score prediction for the end of the game. You know I love guessing things. Let's just see what you've got. What do you reckon we finish at?
I reckon the Ducks have another 2 touchdowns in them, and I think the Cubs maybe have one. I think the Ducks are going to edge this out. They've just looked a little bit more consistent and disciplined in the first half. And again, they've been here before, right? They were here last year, so a lot of returning players from last year's team. Some new faces as well, but you know, they know how to handle adversity. Obviously, the game against the Rebels last year was quite close in the first half as well, so they know what to expect, and I think they're going to come out pounding the pavement again, running that ball up the middle. What are your thoughts on the score for the...
Look, I don't guess things, Blake. I just suckered you into giving me a prediction that I don't want to commit to. So I think that it will be close. I think it'll be a one-score game either way.
That's a bold statement,
yeah,
Mitch. It's going to be close.
That's it. That's close. It's a close game. You know, they are... Both teams are really trying to focus on playing fundamental football now. I think that'll be the challenge that we start to see.
But again, the Cubs had three touchdowns called back in the first half.
Yeah, the points are on the board, and I think it is the... I officiated a game last week, and I was listening to coaches talk, and they were so heavily focused on, you know, making sure they're mentally strong at the right point in time. I think if they get the right look here, you could potentially see an onside kick. I don't think they want to fall to a score behind. How they approach this kickoff is going to be a fascinating insight into, you know, where they think they're going to be able to get the rest of the game, because if they don't think their defense can stop them, then it's going to be incredibly challenging, which is a throwaway statement for the ages, but I recognise that the approach that they're going to make to the kickoff is vital. Looking at ball position and all those kind of things, there's a potential here for something that's particularly interesting.
And you assume with the Ducks they're going to keep running the ball, right? So clock management, they're in front. The Cubs are starting the second half without the ball. The Ducks are going to control the game.
Yeah, so they've got another potential to score here coming out of the half, which is a volatile position for the Cubs to be in. Chasing 2 scores changes the way you have to try and approach the game. So recognising that the Ducks are going to churn through the clock in the time that they have, there really needs to be a focus if they score this drive from the coaching staff to go, well, we need to get 2 scores up.
It's a very different game plan at that point in time.
Yeah, a fundamentally different game plan. So
the Ducks coming out in a very similar look that we've seen all the first half.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if there's a wrinkle, though. So they're going to try and set the outside edge, and it seems like they've been able to do so. They're going to be able to turn it and run down the side of the field. It looks like he's going to get open. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. Has he turned the corner? Pulled down just short.
Flag, was that on the tackle or...
You can see him turn the corner here, misleveraged by the linebackers, getting to the sideline. Can't see where the flag comes in.
It's against the Ducks. Was there maybe taunting or something in there? So we do have penalties for over-celebrating, but I mean, it's a bit premature. I'm not sure what the call is down there. It's definitely a way to set the tone for the Ducks in the second half, second play of the game, and punching it in. And of course, depending on the penalty, will it be called back or tacked on to
Well, he was tackled short anyway, so I believe he didn't cross the line of scrimmage, so he stopped at about the 2-yard line.
Yep. Oh, no.
Oh,
He signalled a touchdown.
I'm getting really good at lip reading, but what it sounds like is, and I may be incorrect. So the play stands.
Yep.
There was taunting on one of the teams, which I will assess on the kickoff, and we will be able to know what happens from there. So we can see this. Oh, so tackled in. Oh, it might be that he was. Oh, okay. So we're seeing a push and shove there, and that's what it's been flagged for. Tackle, the 2-point conversion is no good.
So as we mentioned before, it's a very different game plan now from Sydney Uni. They're playing 2 scores from behind.
Yeah, and again, it changes their approach, right? This is the absolutely vital thing to understand. They've got to have an understanding of the timing that they're now going to face. While that took approximately 2 minutes, talking about 16 minutes of clock time left. Even if they score again, there's a potential to try and recover an onside kick to manage the clock timings that they've got. The Ducks are burning, burning through the clock. Now, the question will be is do they kick for a touchback here, try and pin them at the 20, because that's an incredibly long way to have to try and drive the field, but you know they can do it. Or are they going to try and sky kick it and put it at the 10, 5-yard line and then trust their guys to get underneath it and go down and make a play? There's some questions depending on the preparation they've done for the season as to how they're going to approach this unique situation. It looks like it's going to be kicked for a touchback, so the Cubs will be coming out from the 20-yard line.
And one thing to mention is we can't actually hear what the officials are saying on the field, although it comes through across on the live stream.
Yeah.
We actually don't get to hear what they're saying.
So I'm right, though. That's all that matters, Blake, because I live in the realm of me being correct. So we'll say there's an unsportsmanlike conduct somewhere on blue, and there was a touchdown, and it was the result of the play. So it looks like so far the Cubs have some work to do. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's you know, that mental fortitude they need to have. And 2-score games are hard. I think it's you watch the mental shift by the players. Their starting QB is still out. They're in with the second-string QB here. Watching them try and do some stuff. Watching him pass the ball downfield.
Great swarming defense.
Gathered and tackled. Incredibly difficult.
Definitely a bit of intensity and swagger about the Ducks coming out in the second half. The defense is going to ride on the back of the offense punching one in nice and early.
Yeah, and I think it's a mental game now as well. It's can the teams recognise that, you know, there's a whole lot of football left to be played. 82 does a great job there of coming downfield and swarming and being able to hold him up for the rest of the team. They know what they expect to see here. Seeing speed option, but QB keep, again, bottled up, short yardage. They've really, and again, the Ducks have done a defensive job here of understanding that they need to try and condense the run. The success that they've had on the run has been a cornerstone of the Cubs' achievement. I think there will be some additional wrinkles. Justin will dip into his bag of tricks and try and get something out in the open to be able to do this. But they're known for playing fundamental football. They've got a strong offensive line. They've got good running backs, good receivers. They just seem to be struggling a little bit with the chemistry at the moment. Losing your starting QB in a grand final is absolutely horrendous. And funny enough, the experience of Lockie Bignell has been that was what he was when he played for the Ducks. So another sack, another significant loss. You can see the Ducks on the sideline are all smiles. I would be imploring that there is a whole lot of football left to go, and taking your foot off the gas at this point in time is an incredibly dangerous position to be in.
But another statement setter for the Ducks, right?
Yeah,
they scored on the first drive. They've held the Cubs from getting a first down here, and they're going to get the ball back in their hands very early on.
Yeah, they're 4 and out, and I think someone's cramping up on the field at the moment, it looks like. And you do start to see this in the later part of these games through the morning, that they haven't been able to get enough fluids in and they start to cramp up a little bit. So hopefully we can see that they've got or he's just taken a shiner on his leg there.
Sydney lining up for the punt.
This is an important down for no mental mistakes by the Ducks. Can't rough the kicker. It's a booming punt downfield. Is it going to be well fielded? Taken on the full. Not blocked in the back. Block in the back there. There's some anger coming out on the field that the teams are definitely going to have to try and get behind to make sure that they can have a sustained drive moving forward. Here we go. Play here. Great way to return a punt.
And the Ducks starting to drive in the Cubs half of football. Great field placement again.
So it looks like the Ducks or the Cubs have adjusted to this defensive formation. A lot of guys down on the line of scrimmage. Gaping hole on the inside. Dodge coming back. Trying to get a last-ditch effort there as he hadn't contacted the ground. I appreciate the running back's attempt, but this is the expectation that you see on halftime defensive adjustments. They are lining everyone up in gaps, and they are trying to make sure that they can't get downfield. There'll be a view that there should be a offensive adjustment off the back of this, but it's great to see that they've been able to stifle the drive so far. Here we go. Different look again. Outside run, bottled up but dodged, but there is a flag
on both sides of the field. So
potentially have encroachment if we've seen it simultaneously, or a false start.
Looks like they have signalled the Cubs' way. Looks like we've got encroachment.
Bailed out there for the Ducks because it looks like they now have an answer to a majority of this inside run.
Who's on the right side? Is that you, Austin? No, you're Loffer and Nick. Make sure you seal in. Don't hold. Hey, do not hold. Do not let up, yeah? You are so close. Do not let up. Nothing slip. They are so high. They're sick of it. Every hit, they're sick of it. They don't want it. But do not let up, yeah? Sorry, I had to take that middle. No, you did the right thing. It's correct. And you butchered it. Boys, listen up.
So Ducks are now on 2nd and first.
Second and first.
So I don't really understand what happened there, but so it's first and 3. No, should be. So yeah, okay, good. No, second and 3 is where we should be. Little bit of a different formation now.
Bad snap here over the QB's head. No one's going for the ball. Costly mistake.
Terrible decision there. Mental mistake again, costing the Ducks good field position. And again, the game's far from over. There's a whole heap of football left to be played, and I think the communication has always been normally with a QB is that when the snap goes over the head, the running back is to go and retrieve it so the QB doesn't get risk of shoulder damage or anything like that while they're going down to recover. And yeah, they just didn't understand what they were going to do.
I think they both expected each other to get the ball there, and unfortunately, in the Sydney Lions getting a good turnover nice and early, they can try and punch one in here and try and switch the
momentum.
Yeah.
Back in here, a little bit more depth for the quarterback, looking at the snap, trying to post it downfield,
Great
challenging
passes. Bringing them down to about the 5-yard line. Great poise in the pocket from the QB, and as you said, I think last year was the quarterback for...
Yeah, he was a quarterback for the Cubs, and again, this is a result of a mental error by the Ducks putting them in this position. So again, they've shown pretty strong aptitude to be able to challenge themselves in these situations. So making sure that we're able to do that is really important.
Fake toss. Oh, second effort. Breaking tackles there. And have we got a flag that's been thrown in the play as well?
Huge effort by a quarterback to break 2 tackles.
There is
when
no
he was bottled
foul on
in the
the
backfield.
play. The result of the play is a touchdown.
The result is the touchdown. Trips left formation, one in the backfield. Great design play there for the end zone. Trying to drag the attention back to the middle of the field, and the receiver bouncing back out.
You can see him come across the field here.
It's a replay of the touchdown.
Oh, whip out. Great separation. Incredibly hard to defend in the end zone. Shorter kick, fielded. Bottled up at the 30. Still a whole heap of football to be played here.
About halfway through the third quarter. 4 points in it, the Ducks leading. They'll look to bounce back here, obviously, on the bad snap on the last drive. Loss of possession to the Cubs.
halftime adjustments are paying dividends on the Ducks at the moment, with the Cubs really making sure that they understand what it is that they need to be doing. The risk you do have here, though, is there's a potential boot. There's a whole heap of potential adjustments if they built this correctly.
The Ducks have looked a bit one-dimensional, I guess, trying to run the ball with a heavy package in the backfield. But yeah, as you say, if they can pop a pass over the top there with...
No.
You'd have to say...
Yeah, 100%. And even on their red zone pursuit, they made conversion for a 2-point that you haven't been able to achieve yet. So if we're not able to see a change from the Cubs, then from the Ducks, I think it'll be a very different game that we continue here.
Oh, here we go. Oh! And as we just spoke to, right, the adjustment was that the Cubs are sitting quite shallow. No one really deep in pass coverage there. And just a nice ball over the top, but unfortunately the receiver wasn't able to pull it in. And it was a great pass as well.
And that's kind of the concern that you have when you do have to sell out to stop the run. You do expose yourself over the top to those kind of things. And he was wide open. You can see he was behind the defense. Had stopped running. This is one of the challenges that he changed the way he was running, whereas if he just kept running in the direction he should have been going, it wouldn't have been an issue. Strong punt, looking to get downfield, looking if they're going to be absolutely able to pursue it. He should be pushed into that because that is the right thing to do. Mental mistake, unfortunately, by number... I won't call out specifics on the Ducks, but they are... So for everyone who understands, if a punt makes contact with the opposition team, it then becomes live. And there are certain ways that you can influence that outcome.
But a great result of the punt down to the 19-yard line. The ability for the Cub not to make a catch, a fair catch, and take the ball from there has probably achieved an extra 10 to 15 yards on the punt.
100%. Let's see what the Cubs can pull out. Speed option potential. Look, pitch to the outside, blocked well, taken down. This is a big drive for the Cubs. I think this is sort of a vital one in making the game work. We're seeing that the QB set quite far back, which loses the ability for the pass rush to be effective. Thrown over the top, but bottled up short again. This is one of those challenges that they're going to have to drive this field now, or to put them back in a position to be successful.
The officials having a word to the coaches, leaving the coaching box there.
Call it a tender reminder. We like to make sure that that's working for everyone. You see a little bit of an odd snap, play action, and then a throw downfield. Definitely outside the range of even catchable there. But the backup QB is doing his best to stay in the game. I really like what he's trying to do here.
We do have a flag on the play. If it's against the Cubs here, they will decline.
We have a holding, number 70, on the offense. That penalty is declined, brings up
fourth down.
Fourth down.
Defence is definitely holding stronger by both teams in the second half. Less mistakes broadly to represent. Punting and this kind of stuff in this part of the field is also always a scary endeavour.
Great punt, great height. Oh,
well
hands.
fielded. Dodged.
It's one of the highest punts I think we've seen today. That was up there.
That was an incredible punt and a great downhill run by the centre. Mr. Gifford, the Undertaker, the man. No, he gets downfield on punts as a long snapper. It's a terrifying thing to behold. If you've ever had a red-blooded offensive lineman ready to take you down, I think it's a thing of concern. A little bit of a different look from the Ducks here, back to conventional package, bottled up and trying to get to the outside, turning a corner, brought down. A little bit of a push and shove there.
Ducks have cost themselves a few negative yards in the last couple of drives that they've had, making it hard for themselves to get that first down. Back to this trips look, empty backfield.
Relying on a pass to get downfield and turning outside, back to the line of scrimmage, but there's really not a lot there.
The Lions front seem to be getting a lot more penetration on the Ducks offensive line in the second half.
Back to a more conventional spread look. So wing back here, looking to try and get downfield. Throw over the middle, little bit of a...
And then we've got the late flag. Oh, two flags.
Two flags. Waiting to see what this will be. The downfield flags are always a little more complicated around people's ability to try and get back for the ball or do the associated bits and pieces.
Looked a bit like offensive pass interference at that point, didn't it?
It's a potential challenge. You can see here, I think the quarterback gets hit late, and it's potentially defensive pass interference because they're going to go with it that way. I don't think like is always the best way to get it, but there's a couple of things on the back here.
We have pass interference on the defense. That'll be 15 yards from the original spot. Automatic first down.
You can hear the crowd in the background.
I can hear some disdain for the pass interference call by the defense. I'm unsure if it's correct or not, but we support the officials.
Get our jail card for the Ducks there. They were struggling to move the ball.
Yeah, it's and you know, this is the thing, you've got to capitalise on those differentiations. Like, I think what you want to try and do if you're a coach in this position is chain together a couple of things, potentially build a play action in off the back of that. Hopefully that's what they look to do here. This conventional formation hasn't held a lot of success with them, but they are cutting back into the middle of the field, putting the ball in the hands of the guys that they know can get some yards. So that's two.
They look like the Lions cheated in the backfield there a bit. Then again, they're coming down quite heavy with the pressure. Mixing it up a bit is probably going to be the key to the Ducks getting another touchdown here in the second half.
Yeah, there's a real potential as well for something like a naked boot, you know, if you want to try and get the QB running in space but in the opposite direction of the flow of the play. They're coming down so hard on those kind of things that it's really difficult to see any other way. Like, they're getting stuffed at the line of scrimmage realistically here, or actually losing yards on these run plays at the moment. That's incredibly difficult to account for.
But they are chewing down the clock. They're in front and they're maintaining the lead.
Yeah, and it's like that is a challenge. They are in front and they're maintaining a lead, but they do want to position themselves to try and score again. This is less than a one-score game in the nature of if the Cubs score, they're actually ahead, and then you're playing from behind again. So interesting to see what we're doing here. It's they're getting a lot of penetration into the backfield now. They're just teeing off and running. They're not looking for much else. It looks like there's a lot of just in the backfield action that they're trying to get to. Curious to see what we're gonna. Oh, they're gonna potentially go for it here.
Unlucky. Just throwing it up there, hoping for the best, but we do have a penalty. Another flag on the play. It's been a second half of flags so far.
On the offense.
That
penalty is declined. Result of the play. First down, Cubs.
Decline. The penalty result of the play is a turnover, and the Cubs starting in pretty good field position here. I think around the 50-yard line. Just shy. Oh, a bit more of an unconventional look than we've seen so far from the Cubs. Stacked receivers to the right side.
Potentially trying to get the ball into the hands of a person in the backfield. Strong blocking, but are they able to shift a tackle there? Going to have to try and find some answers for these different looks that they're starting to get. Another unconventional look, expecting a screen kind of pass, but a high snap, but bottled up.
Might be enough for the first
enough
down.
for the first down.
Making something there, nothing there.
Shows an incredible amount of strength by number 22 and his ability to break through the first round of contact. They are catching him at the right time. They're just, they're not really able to stop him from where he wants to go. And so that is, that's the quarter. So one more quarter to go. We're 4 points difference. Ducks are still ahead. Bottled up on both sides of the coin at the moment. I don't really have a strong prediction for the fourth quarter.
No, it's swinging in roundabouts at the moment. Ducks seem to be struggling to string much along on offense. A couple of penalties have helped them out to get a bit further down the field than what they were looking to get. At the moment, the Cubs' offense is looking the most potent of the two. Obviously, they've got a bit more of a passing game up their sleeve, so they're not as reliant on the run game, and that's been shut down by the Cubs' defense in the second half.
100%. It's it'll be whether or not in this for the fourth quarter can they get an adjustment in place in time to be able to address what they're trying to get done.
And coming up after this, we have the Opal Bowl kicking off at 12:30 with the UNSW Raiders taking on the University of Canberra Stars, which should be a fantastic middle game of football for us.
Yeah, so it'll be, look, obviously the head coach Dane at the Raiders done an incredible job in keeping his team successful for many years, and the ACT Stars are going to be giving it a crack to see what they can do and getting into this space. So.
The Raiders finished the regular season undefeated, so they're coming in with a bit of momentum as well.
momentum is incredibly important in coming into these games and knowing whether or not they've got a mental advantage in being able to play what they're playing. It looks like second half Sydney Uni's been able to really start to change where they're at from a mental mistake point of view, and they are doing a much better job of being in the right positions they need to be in. Rocket look that we've got here at the moment, or motion look. Popped up, pass, Mesh across the field. Mesh was closed, nearly intercepted. Half-time adjustment by the Ducks there is clearly to be able to adjust for the Mesh that's been punishing them early in the first half.
The Cubs have definitely looked a lot more lot more dimensions to what they're doing on offense than what the Ducks have. But it's good to see the Ducks are adjusting to the different fronts that they're seeing.
So seeing a similar look, got a motion to the outside, trying to get an end around, throwing into the middle of the field, nearly picked again.
Bringing up third down.
It's been three attempts at a pass have been...
Oh, quarterback change here. That's interesting.
Yeah, so number 11 back on the field, feeling better. Great to see. Conventional QB's in.
It's a shame for 22 because he was playing quite well.
Yeah, it's so we're in Tripp's bunch here, different element. You can see that a known quarterback's giving you a different dimension. Snap, handoff.
Oh, that's risky business.
Fumble further back, greater loss, fourth and long.
I think he tried the offload. I'm not sure
he did the cheeky shake and bake, and wasn't ready for the quack attack, might I say.
And not a conventional part of our game is the offloads.
No. It's there's a few teams that do specialise in it. I think UTS Gators that you'll see later today will have got a couple of cheeky offloads that they do, especially when they're downfield. They love to see their big boys get the ball, so the offensive line has been known to be running alongside a receiver, and they'll just be a little bit of a whoop. There you go. Seeing first time out to the Cubs. Timeouts in those circumstances always cause me a level of panic as a coach, because there's an element of, did they just try and teach them how or remind them how to do a fake punt? No, but it could have been absolute bomb of a punt.
The Ducks need to get away from that, because if it does hit them, that ball is live.
Yeah, it's a weird thing that I think caused coaches anxiety more than absolutely anything else, is the inherent panic of watching a player that you know shouldn't be touching the ball run around and chase the ball like a balloon down a drain.
And a good special teams play will be that they do get pushed into the ball, as you mentioned earlier, because once that does happen, that ball is live, and the Cubs have the opportunity to take over the ball.
Yeah, exactly. It's a big change. This is a lot of field to cover, though, and their success in the second half and the adjustments that they've put in place haven't really shown dividends against a strong Cubs defence. I'd love to see them try and make a more dynamic decision on what it is they're going to do here. Seeing this drop back, pass over the middle, just to empty field. That's a hard day.
Fortunately, the QB didn't have enough time there for the receiver to get out where they were supposed to. But the receiver looked a bit lost there as well. Not sure where they were going. Assuming they probably haven't practiced much of the passing game. Looking at how the offense is going at the moment.
100%. And I think it's developing quarterbacks in Australia, especially with exposure and time and a whole heap of things. becomes incredibly difficult to try and make sure that they're coached effectively to be able to throw the ball on time where they need to be, with a pocket within there that they can actually handle.
Unfortunately, much of the same from the Ducks. I'm not sure whether they have enough up their sleeve to change momentum of this game, because obviously they've had 3 or 4 outs at the moment trying to run the ball and haven't been able to connect on a pass in the second.
No, I don't think it's.
We've got a flag that has been thrown on the close side of the field.
Waiting on the zebra comm.
Against Sydney University. A 5-yard penalty by the looks of it. Still remains. Remains third down.
They're sending a lot more pressure now. You're seeing, 4 or 5 guys going at any point in time with a smaller offensive line. It's incredibly difficult to be able to try and do that.
Oh, almost tipped. Fourth down, bringing up punt for the Ducks. With a low snap. And looks like a timeout's been called.
We have timeout. Ducks. That's their first time out of the half.
Oh, no. Oh, lucky bounce, lucky bounce, lucky bounce.
Almost looked like he meant to roll out then for a potential fake punt. They tried to get the Cubs snoozing there and getting a quick snap before they were set. But initially it wasn't a very good punt, but the ball's rolled the right way for the Ducks there.
Outside run, broken a tackle, driven back to the line of scrimmage. I think we're going to be seeing holding. I saw a late flag come in there.
And the Cubs have stuck with their starting quarterback, who came back in on the last drive after an injury in the first half.
dazzle of zebras is having a conversation around the flag.
We have a holding on the offense. That'll be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Replay down.
All right, so holding pushes them back. Working out. Spot of the foul pushes them back. Complicated choice there. I don't know whether I would have taken a 5-yard penalty. I probably would have gone for 2nd and 10, considering their ability to strike. But challenges coming back into trying to get a ball open with this quarterback at the moment.
It's very hard to obviously get injured in the first half, come back in the second half and pick up where you left off, because he was quite efficient in the first half with his passing game.
Always takes a while to get your feet back under you if you've had some time out, especially on plays like this and in big games. So hopefully looking for him to be able to find his feet a little bit more. It's always interesting to watch the depth of the receivers. So the motion is kind of indicated, looking at a pop to the outside, trying to seal the edge. Tried to cut back into the wrong bloke, unfortunately. He had the edge sealed. If he'd continued to run out, that would have been the best outcome for him, unfortunately. Just some immaturity in the run, and that they needed to do it. It is a rugby league thing as well, that they do try and cut back inside. That's a thing that we see a lot when we're trying to coach players out of doing that. They've got to read the blocks and understand where the space is, not just take an opportunity to cut back when they approach it. So that's a second timeout by the Cubs. So they have one timeout remaining in this third quarter.
We're in the fourth quarter now, which is quite risky if because they are still playing from behind if they do need those extra timeouts. But one thing to note is obviously the quarterback that's in now was doing quite a few QB keeps in the first half before he was injured. And that's obviously probably something they're trying to shy away from now, because he did get his ankle caught under him pretty badly in that first half.
Yeah, and that might limit his versatility in some ways as well. Like, you know that he's in a better position to be effective in solving those problems. But if we can, if as a team, especially in that position, where you can try and solve that by keeping him in the pocket, keeping him safe, not having him run around. But I do think that you are seeing the return of Mr. Tommy Trahan, who will be the quarterback now in this. And I don't know whether the Ducks have identified that a QB swap has occurred.
Interesting. That's four QB changes between the two of them in a game of football. And I guess from a quarterback perspective, you want to be consistent, keep the hand hot.
Oh dear. That's unfortunately there are these elements.
And obviously there's things that we don't know going on, injuries and play calls that are going on that might be suited to one quarterback over the other. But to keep changing it as often as they are, it's really hard to find consistency in their offense at the moment. I think it shows that it's a bit fragmented from where it has been previously.
Fourth and a country mile.
Hopefully they got some frequent flyer points to get down the other end of the field.
But Tommy has a booming kick that should be able to pin it somewhere down there. He's got the ability to put the distance under it.
Bit of a muffed kick here. Gained maybe 10 yards there, 10 to 15 yards. Ducks in excellent field position to take over here in the fourth quarter and hopefully punch one in to give themselves a bit more breathing space.
Clock management becomes a real issue now. I think there's sort of two ways you can approach it. You've either got to try and get into immediately solving for scoring and trying to keep them off the field, or if you are able to burn through some of these distances, that's the better answer. So seeing a little bit of a different look from the Ducks here, some cross mesh, all those kind of things. It's a catch and throw there that just wasn't it was ineffective, and I think the management of this game is going to be one of the challenges that these coaches have. Broadly, an incomplete pass is not the ideal situation you want to be in here with the amount of time you have left on the field. 4 minutes and 20 seconds roughly. Our clock is an approximation. Just a misalignment there. You know, back to their heavy set. It's potential boot action coming in here. You know, they're going to try and seal the edge. We're going to see another flag. Five-yard penalty.
A false start.
False start.
On the offense. The centre has moved the ball. That'll be 5 yards. Replay down.
Looking for a nicer pass, a better ball. Oh, unfortunately, you cannot clap and catch the ball. That is a
clapping's not a part of the game.
No, clapping is not a part of the game. No, the importance of the way you've got to catch the ball and the handling of it is absolutely vital.
You'd think the Ducks would be running it here a bit more. Again, speaking to the clock management, I mean, obviously on an incomplete pass, the clock is stopping at the moment.
Yeah, it's whether or not, like, you know, they recognise that they haven't been able to run the ball effectively. So are they trying to get themselves in a different position to do that? You know, it's this is fourth down territory, so you can kind of make a decision about what you want to try and do there. They know that getting it out in space is important. Probably a bad decision there, but you know, this is a fourth down. This is a fourth down play. I expect them to go for fourth down here. The clock is running, and if they can pick up a first down, there is a potential for them to be able to burn through a lot of this clock that they do have. It's not 4th and 1 territory, but I do like this play here to try and get the ball out, especially with the amount of pressure they're using. Great strength to push off the player there. Pitch to the outside. He's trying to run upfield. Can he make the additional yards? Cutting back through.
He's got a first down.
That is a first down. And I think this is for me where you want to be letting the clock run. We know that you've had a strong defense. You're able to position yourself. You are ahead. The clock is rolling. I'd be taking all the time I can in the world to get these plays in to minimise the amount of time they have to drive the field. You're going to go for it on 4th anyway. If you can get it 11 yards, you can actually burn the clock. So what you want to try and do is get a 5-yard play here. Potentially, you can also. This is one of those times where it's
the awareness to come down before punching in.
This is a hard, complicated one from a timing point of view because now they do have time to get back on and score. So I don't know the mechanics well enough at this point in time to be able to know whether that was the right or the wrong call, but a touchdown's never bad, and that was a great decision by the Nepean Ducks and a play call there.
But the Cups only have one timeout left, so they don't, in terms of clock management, they've haven't got a lot up their sleeve.
That's a successful 2-point conversion.
45's been very strong for the Ducks today in the backfield.
On both sides of the ball. He's playing linebacker as well. He's moving around. He's been a vital instrument in their success today.
To be young again, right?
If only, Blake. If only. Interesting decision. This is a vital play to make sure that they don't turn it up the sidelines and get a touchdown. It's there's definitely a view that sometimes you sky or squib these in these positions where you're trying to minimise driving the field and make sure that you're able to bottle them up and not allow for anything to continue.
Injured player for the Ducks down in the backfield there.
Injured player on the field. After that. And we're back. Play's been cleared. Cubs are starting the drive at about the halfway mark. Yeah. two-score game. In a tough position chasing the clock as they come into this part of the field. Interception.
This is where they need to get down. Tough read on that one. He had a receiver open on the other side of the field that wasn't being covered. A lot of pressure in the situation when you're 2 scores down and about 3 minutes left on the clock. With only one timeout here, the Ducks can manage this pretty well.
Yeah, I think the Ducks are in a position that I'd expect them to run the ball, potentially punt, even if they surrender. You'd be letting the clock burn all the way down. Potentially even take a delay of game on the 4th and then give yourself some space to punt.
Yeah,
there's some options there.
And Amy just kick it straight out.
And then force them to play from there. But I expect from a clock management point of view. And they're passing. It's a
interesting decision.
Yeah, no, it's maybe they have a different set of information than what I do at the moment. But looking at the available timing and some of the challenges that they've faced, I think,
especially the risk of the pass in the backfield.
They're playing a game bigger than I, and then they look to keep the clock running, push themselves back another 10, 15 yards, and then punt from a safe distance, and then be able to get it out. They might be playing chess when I'm here playing checkers. So potentially there's a couple of good options there. This is a better look at an outside run here, trying to cut back, returning roughly to the line of scrimmage, but again, slowing it down would be the answer.
And Mitch, is it worth talking about what happens inside the final 2 minutes in terms of game clock?
So, we're running stop-start game clock all year for these guys, so it doesn't necessarily change in the final 2 minutes as much as it would have historically. So normally we have a running clock and it goes all the way through, but the timing changes significantly compared to the other seasons that we've run. In and out of bounds then become more of a pressing priority. But I think we're on 3rd down here. Getting told to hurry up. They're throwing the ball into space. Found a way to shift away from it. Potentially getting back upfield. If they get a first down here, they are.
Great effort.
This is a challenging.
Yards after contact, you'd say the Ducks have had it today. Just that extra surge at the end there. The Cubs, unfortunately, not being able to bring them down and make an initial contact. Yeah,
and I think again we're seeing the clock really start to run out of where we're able to compete and be able to try and put an offense back on the field to score. Now the Cubs still have the ability to score. They have a deep strike. They've got the speed and acceleration to be able to do it. But I think there's just a question. You're seeing the Ducks take their time here, get lined up. They're not rushing. Really just looking to have ball integrity and make sure there's plenty of people back there to be able to have it. And I think they're going to try and understand whether they can win the game without having to do this.
2-minute warning.
Right. So, final 2 minutes. It does look like the only outcome, if they don't get a turnover, will be for the Nepean Ducks to win. I was just trying to work through the mechanics of what else could happen. I was like, there's got to be a better way. A run to the backside. They have to be incredibly aware of ball security here. They cannot turn the ball over. They need to be as slow as possible to allow themselves time for the clock to wind down, so they'll get another 30 seconds out of this. Clock is rolling.
Important to note that the coaches are telling the team to relax here. Up on the scoreboard here, nothing silly.
I don't think we'll see a pass again here. We should just be seeing this direct out dodge, try and lose some yards. They understand what this is. Got a minute left. Fourth down. And they've put a timeout to the Cubs.
To the Cubs. Ladies and
The question would be with
timeout
the
for the
kickers
half.
that the Ducks have is, do they have the ability to pin something, you know, between the current yard markers and the goal line? If they have a punter who can do that, that is the best case scenario, because, you know, they're trying to burn the clock. I don't think they're going to burn through the 45 seconds. The other thing, controversial opinion, that I would be doing is I would be, because, you know, everyone values my opinion, Blake. This is the big brain play. This is the, you take the snap, you burn as much of the clock as you can as you run around the field, and then you get tackled in your own end zone. 2 points. Bang. Big brain, hear me out. And then you kick off from the 20 with 20 seconds left, and even if they score, I don't think they can get back in scoring distance, and you can win by 2 points regardless.
Controversial to say.
Controversial. It is a game for the many, but it is one of those questions that you have to really understand at this point in time, what they're going to do. And with the double timeout, perhaps the forces are ticking. You know,
maybe they're listening to the live stream.
Maybe they're listening to the live stream and they're going, hey, you know what? This is the play. But
Mitch knows what he's talking about.
Mitch hopes he knows what he's talking about. But yeah, look, there's a lot of different ways where you can finish out this game. I think putting yourself in the best position to be successful, you've got to look at, can you punt effectively and get them into the goal line. You don't want to take a sack here. Like that's a big thing, even with 45 seconds left. Striking distance, you've got to put a prevent defense on to try and make sure that they're not going to be able to score. There's a whole heap of different dimensions there that you want to try and make sure you're aware of.
And the Ducks' kicking game so far today has been a little bit inconsistent, relying heavily on the roll of the ball. They haven't been getting many yards. Not looking like they're lining up in a punt formation here.
No, they've decided shooters have got to shoot.
Oh, just short. But great field position.
Yeah, it's one of those things that if you can't punt it, you can you're 2 yards short of where you want it to be. It's like this is a long field drive for the Cubs. I thought they were going to get in with a little bit of shake and bake. I thought they were going to try and give us a little bit of the razzle-dazzle, but no, relied on a simple slant to be able to put them in field position, to be able to do what they need to do.
And with limited time on the clock, you really want to be getting those passes to the edges and trying to get out of bounds, right?
Yeah, they're trying to get a 2-minute drill in. They have very little time. It was snapped before people were set. They're going to get a penalty here, or they're going to get a timeout called. Don't believe the offense was set.
They can take a run off, can't they?
Yeah.
They could. We have a false start on the offense. The defense will take a 10-second run off. Brings up the game.
Bit of a discussion on the field at the moment.
You'd have to think there'll be only 2 plays left.
Yeah, like the timing of this is now so incredibly complicated. Obviously not being able to see it in real time, they've got to try and look at, can they throw it? Is it uncatchable? They have to try and make these deep throws to be able to try and put one of their guys in space. Deep safeties are doing a great job of being over the top.
It looks like it might be game. That's it.
And the winners of the 2024 Kookaburra Bowl are the Nepean Ducks. Congratulations to them. They've had an incredible comeback, and it's great to see a win on the field. The real winner is the sport of football, Blake. That's what I think anyway. Cubs fought incredibly hard, and yeah, it was a hell of a game.
We'll be back at 12:30 with the kickoff of the Opa Bowl.
That's
and the
correct.
UNSW Raiders take on the UC Stars. But if you stick around with us, we will be live streaming the presentation this year, and we'll be awarding the winning team the Kookaburra Bowl and our MVP for today. So first of all, guys, welcome to the 2024 Kookaburra Bowl. Congratulations to both teams on having an amazing season this year. It's a true testament to the coaching staff and the players to get all the way down to the Kookaburra Bowl. What was a very impressive game. It came down to the final fourth quarter, so both teams should be very proud of their achievements this year. I'm going to invite up the runners-up coach to say a few words and present the medals to the team.
Thank everyone. Firstly, congratulations to our team. I hate talking first, but congratulations to the Ducks. Ducks played amazing all season, always the pinnacle to beat. We worked hard to play you, and we came up short, so well done on your guys. Well, your testament to your character, testament to your coaches, testament to your schemes. Congratulations. To our guys, it stings, it hurts, we'll be better for it. It's a cliche, but that sting really hurts, and we'll come back for it. We've worked really hard. There's a lot of players, there's some players who couldn't be here because of injury, some players are on the sideline because of injury, other players that have been backing up, been playing both ways, or on the ready to go both ways. And to come short hurts. You know I'm feeling it. Testament to everyone who's stuck it through, testament to the team, testament to the club, that we just kept grinding, wanting, wishing, hoping for that win, couldn't get there. So congratulations, my guys. Thanks, everyone.
Before we present the trophy to the winning team, we do need to nominate a MVP for today. The MVP from today has come from the Nepean Ducks. It's number 45. Do you want to say a few words? Yeah, go on, say it.
Nah, start off with all glory. Start off with all glory to the man above, eh? Without him. Man, these boys, they took me in. I didn't know a single thing like 5 games ago, and now I've got an MVP, so thank you very much.
Congratulations. I'm going to invite up the coach from the winning team now to say a few words, and then we'll present the trophy.
Very much. Oh, do I hold it now? First of all, I just wanted to thank the Cubs. They're the pinnacle of this competition, they always are. The coaching and the players, they're always who we're trying to stop, they're always who we're thinking of, and man, you guys come ready every single game. If it's regular season, it's post-season, you guys are a credit to your club, and I hope that you all stick around and continue playing this game, because you're all really talented, and mate, this competition needs clubs like you, and it needs players like you, outstanding humans, so thank you very much for the game, and thank you very much for the season, I appreciate it. To my boys, man, we did it. We got there. It took a lot of perseverance. Shout out to Chase, third string QB, stepping up. Appreciate you, mate. Most importantly, I just wanted to thank everyone that came down, family and supporters. It's the only reason that Greg and I do this, so that we can give back to you guys, and you guys have a place for your sons to play footy in a new sport that's not that popular, but mate, we love it to death, and we hope you guys too. So that's enough from me. I appreciate you all. Thanks again, boys. Thank you.
And your 2024 Kookaburra champions, the Nepean Ducks.
I'm relaxing, singing Figaro with no accent, while I pull strings from the streets in. Do it all with a straight face, I'm the kingpin.